Yo, as a kid, I always wondered what the shit is these. Yo, it scared the fuck out of. No, it was always on churches somewhere near them, and I was wondering why would you have these catbirds around here like they guarding some shit, right? Yo, 90s babies. Do y'all remember this cartoon called Gargoyles? Forgot what the fuck it was about. But these niggas used to come to live at nighttime, start arguing and shit, fighting. You remember that? And it's by Disney. Alright, now that we grown, let's look back and investigate this, man. Why would they make these demon statues on top of buildings, downtown, everywhere? Why would they be near churches, yo? Why would they make demons sitting on top of a goddamn building, a cartoon for kids? Why was it normalized when kids the main ones that scared of demons? Does that make sense to you? Alright, since everything you look up always go back to Egyptian roots, I typed in Egyptian griffins. Studies say that is Greek and Egyptian mythologies and the Egyptian culture connected griffins to the sun god, power, prestige, and protection. Yo, you see that? You see that? Alright, check this out. Notice the one to the top left, right? The old one. Notice how it's like a Egyptian cat dog, right? See the Egyptian pharaoh hat? See it over his ears? But look on top of it, it's like two pillars. If you look under the blue picture in gold, you see there's two pillars on top of his head, right? If you look to the right, it's two snakes for the two pillars, right? Okay, now let's go back to the top left on that old cat dog, right? You see it's a griffin on his back? See it? The bird cat? The cat bird? Now check this out. If that cat dog with the pillar hat, if it was a sit down, wouldn't that look like a sphinx? Just check it out, dog. Look at that. Now look even deeper. If the sphinx was sitting down with the pillars up front, right? And it had the griffin on the back, isn't that kind of the same shape of cathedrals? You see the two pillars? Two pillars. See the back? It's like the griffin area. I don't know, the griffin meant something, right? Look to the right of the griffin, of the sphinx. Don't that look like the Statue of Liberty? You see the lady holding up the little ring? Like Statue of Liberty from Egypt. Alright, let's dig more. Alright, check it out. On the left, you see how it's two people there, right? The sun on the left, the moon on the right. You see in the middle up top, it's another griffin. So it meant something. That's kind of the same shape of that church too, right? That's a power symbol. Alright, now look at this Columbus flag. They swapped griffins with dragons, and then they swapped dragons with these lions. But you see how it's two lions, two castles, two sevens? Alright, duality, bro. It's duality. See the white and red? Okay, let's do this. Alright, now check out these medieval flags to the left. See that? Like a lion. I got dragons, all types of shit. Look at the Columbus flag on the right. See any difference? Still see the duality, right? See those crosses? You see the red and white. The gold. Red, white, and gold, huh? Alright, let's keep going. That's when you start looking for keywords. I researched, are dragons a type of griffin? And say no. But It say key points to remember. Griffin's composition is a lion body, eagle, head, and wings. Dragon characteristics usually a serpent scale, fire breathing. You seen those flags we just looked at, right? Okay. Alright, look. You see our dragon's a type of griffin. And when you stroll down a little bit, right, on the left, you see that? You see how they are hybrids? So they've been experimented on. That's why they got lion body, eagle heads, right? So you don't think they was using these serpents, putting wings on snakes? That's why a snake can breathe fire. Come on now, just think about this shit. Just think about it. Research medieval. Now, if they did, look to the left. If they cut the wings off of these dragons and shit, stuff, it'll look like a dinosaur. They passed them off as dinosaurs in case a nigga dig up some shit in their backyard. You see to the right, the medieval flags. See, I got a lion and a dragon that connected in Mother Earth. You see the tree of life. See that? You see it. You see it. Remember back then they had unicorns and shit. Flying horses, Pegasus. My nigga, come on now. Come on now. You gotta think big, bitch. Can't stop there thinking you figured shit out though, right? So keep strolling. What is a griffin in the Bible? For the medieval Christians, they are a real creature created by God. Some, but not all, medieval griffins are gargoyles. Now we back to gargoyles, right? So gargoyles, griffins. Egyptians was making gargoyles, or niggas just renamed this shit around their timeline, cause everything evolved. Just think about it. Think about it, fuck ass punk. Aha. So it makes sense why Greek history and Roman history say niggas was fighting dragons then, right? Look at them names. Do they look familiar to you? Any of them? You heard of it? In the cartoon or something? Remember Dragon Ball Z? Why the fuck would we like dragons and shit? Maybe it's in us, like Bruce Lee was trying to say. Check this out. Listen and listen close. Did you know that Africa had a serpent deity god? Dragon god, right? Pretty much a serpent too, right? Did you know the Egyptians had a serpent god too? Ra, right? The sun god. Did you know that he fought a dragon? Everybody fighting dragons, bro. Right? You see that? See? Just like how I keep telling you, man. They keep putting this shit in our face. Even with the cartoons. Look. Supposed to be an evil god, right? Named Tiamat. You hear Tiamat in all these little sci-fi kids movies, just like Avengers. Tiamat is everywhere, right? Right? Just throwing it in our face. Look. 7 main Orishas, African powers, right? You see that? Did you even know that it exists? They got 7 gods too. They're just like how the Greeks got them gods, Hercules and Zeus and Athena and all of them. They kind of copying off the Egyptian shit, just like the Africans. So if you look up history, all of these niggas is copying off to the same people that came down to visit everybody, I guess. Right? No wonder why all the cathedrals look the same. Right? All over the world. Just keep researching. This ain't it. Look, there's more. Did you even know that these creatures are still on flags to this day? To this day. Look at that shit. Look. Centaur look like Sagittarius. Wales, Poland, China, Italy, and France still got dragons. Why they got dragons if it didn't exist? Just like the Chinese zodiac. I don't know, but Cuz is a flying more. You see that up there? Merc is a unicorn. Tusk, I'm not about to say all that shit, bro. Tusk is a Pegasus. Man, Netherlands is a mermaid. You see that? Sicily got a Medusa. See at the bottom of some more shit. Bruh. Where is we living? Alright, now we gotta backtrack and see how this shit got to our front door. On the left, it's the Michigan flag. On the right is the Detroit flag. 1948 to 1972. I wonder why it was only between them times. But back to the Michigan flag, you see how it was two deers and an eagle in the middle? Just like how that Egyptian picture was, with the griffin in the middle. Yeah, but we do got a lot of deer here, so I will see why they would use deer instead of the Egyptian shit, right? Let me show you something interesting. This Detroit flag. See how there's two ladies right there? One of them look like she weeping, city burning. On the right of them, castles and shit, right? Tell me why this picture is on my motherfucking elementary school. Check this out. Boom. Look at the shit. Look at the picture on the left. See the deer, the eagle, and the shield. Two chicks. See that? This is Calvin Coolidge. It say AD 1940. So I said, let me figure out what's going on with this shit, yo. So, listen close. The building was built in 1925. They stamped the motherfucking building 1940. The Detroit flag didn't become official till 1948. So they put this shit on this building 4 years before the flag was up, right? You see that? 8 years beforehand. 1927, the flag, they took it down. I wonder why. What the fuck happened? Alright, let's zoom in for a clue. See what happened. The ladies are looking to the left. Over there, it look like some cathedrals and houses burning down. Chick in the pink is like, oh no. The chick in the blue is like, bitch, we got this over here. Look at that. Skyscrapers and shit. Now you can take that several different ways. Look like it can be when they came and burnt down the hood and built on top of it. Or it could be when the hood burnt down, they moved to the suburbs. Or it can be when they shit burnt down and they came and found our castles and buildings and shit. Cause you see how on the left is bland, over the right, it look like the ancient historical buildings. Just think about it, please. Alright, can't jump to conclusions. So let's look up fires in Detroit. We found the Great Fire of 1805. It said nearly burnt down the entire city. See that shit? But how could this shit burn down if it's bricks? Okay, if you want proof, let's do this. You see to the right is Augustus B. Woodward. He was the first chief of justice in the Michigan territory. He was the nigga in charge of reconstruction after the fire. You see it? 1805? That's why that main street that we fuck with is called Woodward. It's after him. Now take a drive from 8 Mile downtown on Woodward and you tell me, how many brick buildings is there that can burn down? Now look, how hot does it need to be for bricks to burn? Does that add up? Use your common sense. Use your. Alright, next subject. This how you catch the lie, bro. Great Fire 1805. Detroit. Treaty of Detroit. 1807. 2 years later, seized a large portion of land southeast Michigan, northwest Ohio, to the United States, with the Yattawa, Chippewa, Ojibwa, Wyandotte, and Patapata. But dude, those are Indian tribes, right? So wait a minute. The city burned down. 2 years later, there's a treaty between all of that land? Or did all of those tribes burn the city down like, fuck this shit, y'all niggas tricked us? Just think about it. And it wasn't the city that burnt down, because look at Woodward. It was they shit that burned down. That's why they ran to suburbs. That's why Detroit fell. That's why Detroit is falling. I mean, they came back and growing and some shit going on now, but think about it. Detroit fell because niggas was doing some shit, started a riot. We said, fuck that shit, and history say. And next thing you know, it was a fire and everything stopped. Before everybody took their companies across to the suburbs. Or was it these motherfucking... It reminded them of the Indians doing that shit. Dude, maybe they seen some of that old shit coming back from us. Cause you remember back then when they tricked them, they gave them motherfucking... You heard of movies, you watched movies that had Indians that owned casinos, shit like that, ranches and shit. You seen them fight all the Indians and shit. So what if the Indians found out that all of that shit was a scam? They came and burnt that shit down. You bitches ain't about to build on our shit. So they said, hey, let's just make a treaty. Let's not fight no more. That sound about right? Right? Know what I mean? Can't stop there. Look. 1871. Years later. What is this? 60-something years later. It was fires everywhere. Look at that. Come on now. So them niggas tried to scam them again. They said, fuck that shit. Let's burn this. Let's burn these casinos. All this shit. These niggas think they slick. These niggas gave us 360 deals. See that? I get to Chicago, Milwaukee, Ohio still popping. You see it? You see it? Yeah, know me, when I love deep, so I couldn't stop there. I had to keep digging in that bitch. That's why she love me. She keep coming back. Look, man, compare this shit. The Detroit flag, Columbus Day flag. Fuck the time of the day telling you. Look at this shit. You see how it's 4 boxes? You see it? You see how they both got castles, cathedrals, whatever you want to call them? See how they both got red, white, and gold. See the lions? Nah, nigga, you tripping, bro. See them stars up there, you automatically think it's American and shit. But it's 13 stars, stripes, leaves, arrows, stairs, and even more on a dollar bill. Look. You just gotta do your research. Is it a coincidence why most elevators don't have a 13th floor? Like I said, you just gotta do your research. Oh, you're reaching, that's not enough. Okay. You know, Mayan calendars had 13 months. See that on the right? You heard people call this Turtle Island? See it on the left? In the middle, did you know most turtles has 13 sections? So, coincidence?